Yo, what is going on, everybody? It is D-Man coming back at it again with another YouTube video, and today we're going to do a recap on Week 13, my thoughts on every game that was played. Unfortunately, Titans come up just short. I almost pulled off a surprising comeback there at the end, but very really upset me what went through. I don't know what was going on in that first half. Going down 38-7, I believe, at halftime. Not your chances aren't high coming back in a game like that when you're down 31. But we gave it our best shot there. And, hey, that second half looked pretty good. First couple drives there, I mean, pretty good, I guess. That was a tough throw. Tannehill trying to hit Humphries there on that little 10-yard slant, it looked like. Just a little bobble there and a pick. You can't, when you're down 31, you can't be turning the ball over still. But, we gave it our best shot there at the end, but we just can't fall, go down 31 there in the first half. Just, Baker Mayfield, he played fantastic. We'll talk about him here in a second, but let's go ahead and go through these games right quick. The Lions and the Bears, that was a pretty good game. I believe the Bears had a good lead. Or I don't know. One of these two. Let's see. Actually, yeah, I think the Bears had a lead at halftime, like a pretty big lead into the third quarter as well. I think they had a late third quarter score, and then they turned the ball over in their own, like at their own 20-yard line or so, and then gave the Lions. I think it was Mitchell Trubisky turned the ball over inside their own 20-yard line and gave the Lions a short field to work with, and they got in the end zone and won the game. So. Hats off to the Lions. Not really a meaningful game here for either team, but, Lions get the win there. Bengals and Dolphins. Tua was back. Didn't look, he was okay. He had I know he had a touchdown. He had 296 and a touchdown, so not bad for Tua. Didn't throw a pick. Clean game. They get the win over the Bengals. The Bengals are now officially, mathematically, I should say, eliminated from the playoff contention, so they're done with. But the Dolphins looking sharp at 8-4 now. A team you got to look out for, especially in the AFC. How weak the AFC is right now. They could definitely get in the wild card there with an 8-4 record. If not, win the division maybe. But moving on here to the Saints and Falcons. Falcons tried to come back there at the very end. I think they got a turnover or something. I think Taysom Hill turned the ball over, and it was like, it was one of those incomplete or fumbles. I think they ruled it a fumble. Falcons marched down the field. I think they couldn't convert on the fourth down, and that ended up being the ball game. But yeah, still Saints and Falcons. Saints prevail there. Taysom Hill got his first touchdown as a quarterback, or first touchdown, but first passing touchdown as a quarterback in that game as well. So, hats off to him. Raiders and Jets, this was hilarious to me. I think that was the first. The Jets, they had the game won, but they're tanking, so they end up rushing like 7 players with like 12 seconds to go in the game. They're at like midfield. The Raiders are at midfield, down 4, and they rushed 6. I believe it was like 6 or 7 players. You're up 4 with about 15 seconds left, and the Raiders are at midfield, and they've got it's just funny to me because they rush 7, like I said, 7 players, and they got 4 deep with trying to cover Henry Ruggs. That's just a play call where they're saying, that was just. It was just so obvious they're trying to tank. But they could easily win that game. They could easily, I guess, the Jaguars, they still could get the number 1 pick with them losing right there in the next game. But, that was just hilarious to me. They're rushing 7 players on the final play of the game when you should have about 4, 3, even 2 linemen rushing, and you should have like 8, 9 defensive backs, sitting at the goal line. But it is what it is. The Raiders got lucky there with the play call. I don't know what they were thinking, but Derek Carr had a pretty good game as well. He had 3 touchdowns. I think he had a pick too. But yeah, still he got the win. And the Jets are still trying to tank. So we'll see what they look like next year with them getting Hopefully looking for Trevor Lawrence, I'm assuming. But here, this overtime, pretty good game here. The Jaguars and Vikings. Jags were up. I think they were up in the fourth. Maybe I think they had the lead at some point. Obviously, they had the lead in the first quarter, but I'm pretty sure they had the lead for a good part of the game. The Vikings came back there at the end, forced overtime. I think Glennon was in there. Yeah, Glennon threw an interception in OT, which gave them very good field position. With that, I think it was Harrison Smith. Yeah, as you can see, Harrison Smith, he got the pick at around the 50-yard line or so, and they were easily able to get in field goal range. They drove it all the way down to like the 1-yard line. They couldn't punch it in. They got a false start penalty, and then it backed them up about 5 yards. They just went ahead and threw out. I'm not sure who's their kicker, but he was able to make a chip shot about 25, 27-yarder to win the game there. So, yeah, good win for the Vikings. They get back to 500, and Jaguars, I guess they should hopefully tank the rest of the year and try and get that number 1 pick, and hopefully they're going to hope for the Jets to get a win in there at some point so they get the number 1 pick. But we play the Jaguars next week. Hopefully Derrick Henry has a good game. We're about to talk about the Titans here. 28 points in a quarter, that just cannot happen. Again, outscored the Browns 28-3 in the second half. Obviously, this was the whole game right here. These first 2 quarters, the first half decided the game pretty much. Like I said, when you go down 38-7, you not only do you your chances of winning goes down, but you take Derrick Henry out of play as well. So, going down 31, pretty much you're gonna have to throw the ball the rest of the game. And Tannehill, he delivered that first drive. We got the ball with 3 plays, touchdown to Mecole Pruitt, I'm pretty sure. And then we had got a quick stop on defense there and got back. And we went for 2. That I was wondering why we were going for 2, but mathematically, I guess we could have got to within a field goal if we went for 2 each time, but we ended up not getting the 2-point conversion. But then next we went for 2 again, we got it. That's why it says 14 there. It's just frustrating. We're not a play behind team, but we showed that we can play from behind and still make it a close game. But down 31, like I said, not a good chance to come back in the game. But Tannehill played all right. He had a pretty good game, 389 yards, 3 touchdowns. Corey Davis had a fantastic game. A.J. Brown, 4 catches, I think 87 yards. And then Corey Davis, 11 catches, 182 yards, and a touchdown. Maybe, just maybe, we see him get the hero tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, but Tuesday. That would be awesome. The only player that played better than him today, fantasy-wise, was, I believe, Darren Waller. I don't think he'll get the hero because he already has a 91 overall, powered up to 92. And the hero is going to be a 93 overall now with that updated overall boost. So maybe we see a Corey Davis as a hero. I don't know. Maybe not. But Baker Mayfield deserving of a hero as well. But he doesn't have a power up, I don't think. So just my thoughts on that game. When you go down 31 points, you're not giving yourself much of an opportunity to come back. So yeah, tough loss there. Derrick Henry probably with this game 15 carries. If you see us with when Derrick Henry has 15 carries, probably not a win because Derrick Henry needs to get the ball at least 25 to 30 carries a game. That's the number I'd like him to hit, at least 25 carries a game. And as you can see, he only got 15. Just because we had to play from behind the whole time in the second half, and that's when Derrick Henry plays to the best. So just a tough scenario. We can't go down 31 in the game. I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it. You cannot go down 31 and expect to come back, which we somewhat did come back. It came down to a couple onside kicks we weren't able to recover. But unfortunately we did lose, and we're moving on to next week, which we do play the Jacksonville Jaguars. So hopefully Derrick Henry will have an absolute bounce back game. Hopefully he gets over 200 yards or something like that. We need a big game out of him. Hopefully Jaguars keep tanking. Hopefully we can put up some some good numbers against them and go into the Lions game the next week. And then we have the Packers and the Texans to finish off the season. So definitely could win out. The Packers game is going to be questionable, and so is the Texans game, because we might end up resting some guys if we do end up securing the division, because I believe the Colts have a pretty difficult schedule, on the way out as well. So we'll just have to see the next 3 weeks how they play out and how we're going to play those last couple games against the Packers and the Texans. So yeah, moving on to the Colts and Texans game here. This was a tough one too. I'm pretty sure if you're a Titans fan, you were watching this game as well. I was. Just a really tough game, guys. Texans got it all the way. I believe it was like inside 5, inside the 10-yard line. They put it on the turf, and Colts recovered. It's just like when your day can't get any worse as a Titans fan, and you're cheering for Deshaun Watson to try, and pull up somewhat of an upset. He puts it on the turf, and the Colts recover, and they end up winning the game there. So that was tough. Texans play great. Again, they're another team we got to watch out for. Because they can easily beat us if it comes down to that last game of the year, that week 16 against them. So another team we got to look out for. Again, we don't have the tiebreaker against the Colts, but we do have the. So what it comes down to, it obviously comes down to whoever has the best record in the division, and then the next thing comes down to is if you have a tie between two teams in that division, it comes down to who has the tiebreaker. We're 1-1 against the Colts, so. Obviously, we're tied there as well, and then it comes down to the division record. So right now we are 3-0 against the division, or are we 4-0? I don't think we lost to a division team this year. I know we beat the Jaguars earlier, beat the Texans in that overtime game, beat the Colts. Actually, we're 3-1. Excuse me, in the division because we lost the Colts one time. 3-1, and we've got the Texans here coming up. So we got to win that game because the Colts, they lost earlier in the year to the Jaguars, so they already have a loss, and then we beat them. So they're actually 3-2, I believe, in the division now, and we're 3-1. So we barely have that top seed in the division, barely clinging to the divisional champion or the AFC South leader right now. So we got to hold on to that. We've got to beat the Jaguars. That'll be a big game, and then we got to beat the Texans, and we're in. So depending on how the Lions game, if we can go 3-1 and beat the Jaguars and Texans, I think we're going to be easily getting into the playoffs. So because I believe, what will that put us at? 11-5. That would be fantastic. We can go 11-5. Obviously, I was hoping for maybe 12 wins this year if we could have won today, but unfortunately that wasn't the case. I see us going 10-11 games, so hopefully that's the case. Moving on, I'm sorry I talked a little bit there, but moving on to the Rams and Cardinals. Didn't watch much of this. I was actually watching a lot of Aaron Rodgers at this time. I know I do have Robert Woods on my fantasy, so he got me 18.5 points, so that's not bad. So, he had a good game. He had 10 catches, 85 yards. Goff with a touchdown. Murray with 3, but didn't have many yards. And the Rams look like a lot of points put up here in the fourth quarter. And the Rams went on to win that game. They go on to 8-4. That was a big game in that division, I'm pretty sure, because if the Cardinals had won, they would have tied them up. But that wasn't the case there. Moving on to the Giants and Seahawks. This was a big game because with the Seahawks loss, now you have the Rams and the Seahawks tied in that division. And with the Giants win, they take control of their division. With the Eagles, Washington, and Eagles, Washington, and the Cowboys. So they control their own destiny here in their division. And the Seahawks, with their loss, coin toss here between the Rams and Seahawks, how the rest of the year plays out. So really interesting scenarios here coming into the last few weeks of the season. So keep a lookout. There's going to be some interesting scenarios that can happen to put teams in, that can put teams out. So that just gets me really excited for these last couple weeks because it could play out any way. It could, just like, it could come down to, you're cheering for one of your most hated teams just because you want to get in the playoffs. And that's what I love about football. All these different scenarios that could happen. Colt McCoy, too, coming at this Giants game right here. I couldn't believe it. They had It was 5-0 at halftime, and then the Giants put up 2 touchdowns there in the third quarter, and really that was pretty much it. The Seahawks could do nothing other than that big stiff arm that DK had. I saw that, but that was about it for the Seahawks. They had 12 points at a safety, but that's it. 17-12. That's a big win for the Giants and a big loss for the Seahawks. So pretty big game there. Eagles Packers. This was a game I pretty much watched the whole way through. Have Aaron Rodgers on fantasy, put up 23.5 for me. We'll take that. 3 touchdowns. He did hit his 400th career touchdown, so that's awesome to see. He was the fastest quarterback ever to do that in the history of the NFL. So, Aaron Rodgers, I love him right now. Definitely better than he's. Mahomes and him, it's going to be a close one to see who gets the MVP. With that game today for Derrick Henry, I think that definitely knocks him out of the MVP talk unless he has 3-4 consecutive 200-yard games to finish off the year. That's the only way he's going to be able to get back into the MVP talk. But he could do it, especially with these next couple teams that we're playing. The Jaguars definitely go for 200, 150, 200. Lions could go for 150, 200. The Packers have a pretty weak front seven. He could go off for 150, 200 yards and then finish it off with the Texans. We already saw what he did to the Texans a few weeks ago, having like a total of 260 yards and like 220 rushing yards. So very possible for Derrick Henry to go off these last few weeks. And we already know Derrick Henry plays his best. He plays his best football in December. So really excited to see how he does. But Aaron Rodgers getting his 400th career touchdown there in that game, and they pretty much roll through the Eagles. The Eagles made it pretty interesting there at the very end. I believe Jalen Hurts got his first career touchdown in the NFL too, and Rager, he had a punt return, that closed the gap to 7 there at the end of the game, and then they had a chance there, but they could not convert, and then Aaron Jones broke off a big one there at the end. I think it was like a 75-yard touchdown or so, and that pretty much sealed the deal there. So, Patriots and Chargers fans, I'm sorry, man. Herbert, I don't know what happened to y'all today. I didn't watch this game. I was just, seeing all the scores at the bottom of the screen. You saw Patriots at, 28-0, 35-0, 38-0, 45-0. I mean, really, why would you go and watch that game unless you're a fan of one of those teams? But for the Patriots on the other side, they're still alive. They got to win some games, though, to get back into the playoff picture, because they got to catch up to Miami at 8-4. They're 6-6. They still got a shot at it. With this win here, a big-time confidence booster going into these last few weeks of the year. But yeah, with that being said, we do have the Chiefs and the Broncos that just finished up tonight. Chiefs and Broncos, that was an interesting game. That catch by Tyreek Hill, that wasn't a catch. Was it a catch? Yes, it was. They ruled it incompletion. He didn't even know he caught it. That was probably the weirdest play I've ever seen of my years of watching football. I don't think I've ever seen a guy catch a football and not know he caught it. Just a weird play. But the Broncos did almost pull it off. They had that last drive there at the end with Drew Lock trying to come down. Drew Lock looked pretty sharp tonight in a primetime game, so give props to him. Melvin Gordon, another guy that played pretty well tonight. Le'Veon Bell had to step in. I believe Edwards-Helaire was out due to, I think it was sick or something like that. And it was like a game-time decision as well. They had him listed as active until the first snap of the game. They said he was going to be out for that game. Le'Veon Bell stepped up. 40 yards, not bad. Again, the Chiefs are not a run-first type team. They're going to throw the ball. They're going to spread you out. They're going to go 5 wide, and they're going to throw the ball at Travis Kelce, who had 8 catches, 136 yards, and a touchdown. They got weapons all over the place. Tyreek Hill had 2 touchdowns, but they were called back, and one was actually a catch. They didn't rule it a catch. It was a confusing type game, but definitely the game that the Chiefs could have lost and the Broncos could have won, but the Chiefs handled business there at the end, and they were able to go ahead and get the win 22-16. Tyrann Mathieu had 2 picks in that game as well, so maybe look for a +1 to his overall, end of the team of the week on Tuesday. So be on the lookout for that. We do have the Washington football team and the Steelers. Steelers going to win this one, I think. You know, I don't see anyone stopping the Steelers, but I wonder what their schedule is on all the way out. We'll just have to wait and see how that game plays out. I think the Steelers are going to win this one pretty easily. The Bills and the 49ers. That's going to be a good game. I think the Bills are so... they're just such an interesting team to me. They could lose any game they play, but it depends on what Bills team shows up. Now, 49ers, they're a team that could easily win this game because they got a couple guys back. They got Mostert back. I think that's about it, though. I mean, a lot of players, they're on IR. I think Kittle's still on IR. Garoppolo, I think, still on IR. So it's gonna be maybe Garoppolo's not, but I don't know. 49ers, I just need Mostert to have a good game. I got him on fantasy. I need him to have a pretty good game tomorrow night. And now that's on Monday. This on Monday as well. So, and then we got the Ravens and Cowboys. Now Ravens, they should win. Interesting year for the Ravens, guys. The Madden curse come back to bite Lamar Jackson. But I mean, they're 6-5. They can still make the playoffs. They gotta get rolling though. Hopefully Zeke has a good day. Got him on fantasy as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully nobody has a fantastic game in either of these two games because I really want Corey Davis to be in contention to get the Player of the Week. That would be awesome. But yeah, guys, with that being said, that is going to do it for our Week 13 recap. Here's all the scores if you want to pause and look at it again. But yeah, that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. And yeah, till next time, I'll see y'all.